online advertisement is concentrated on two companies basically, which is Google and Facebook, and it's tough even for online other companies to try and provide different solutions that are maybe more privacy friendly, but get mixed into this dual monopoly of online advertising. We're talking about ads that fit. Now, sometimes my questions are when I see an ad that doesn't fit, and I'm thinking, why is this ad being shown to me? What data did I provide so that this ad matters? We as consumers are changing. We as consumers are understanding more and more the need to protect our data, the need for our privacy, the need for our own space, if you want, our private space, and more we may vote with our money.
Hello everyone, I am Sergio Maldonado and this is Masters of Privacy, a set of interviews covering the intersection of marketing, data, privacy and technology with a clear goal in mind, which is redefining the relationship between people, brands and media around transparency and control. Which is to say, we're aiming for real customer centricity, or if you will, human centricity. We regularly talk to DPOs, CMOs, CDOs and whoever else we find interesting and able to share valuable insights. So we hope you like it. Please do reach out if you have any ideas on future topics or speakers. We have José Belo here today. He is an international research fellow at the University of Milan, a data protection and privacy law diehard, as many other guests here, a DPO, and previously head of data privacy at Valuer.ai, a Copenhagen-based tech company. José was appointed to the IAPP European Advisory Board in January 2022 and is also co-chair of the IAPP Copenhagen Chapter. He is a frequent speaker at events covering the privacy and technology interplay with a strong focus on AI. And this is how I came across him during the latest PrivSec event online, where he was a panelist on a roundtable titled "That's the Way the Third-Party Cookie Crumbles." As you know, a favorite topic of mine. Let's get started. Jose, thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much for the invitation, Sergio. It's really a pleasure.
Glad I could get a hold of you after listening to you at the PrivSec. So AI, let's go full on AI now, and it will be our second episode going on AI in recent months. Why do privacy professionals have to be in charge of compliance, AI ethics, when sometimes AI doesn't have to involve personal data?
Exactly. That's something that I've been thinking about. That's a very good question. Because as you pointed out, Sergio, we privacy professionals are more in our experience is more with personal data than with non-personal data or synthetic data or hybrid data, combination of all the three or two or other types of data that will certainly come along in the future. But I do think that we are probably the most qualified people to understand the difference between personal and non-personal data. That's one of the points that I think why this is falling on us. I think we do have that legal and technical and understanding of how personal data and non-personal data are, or the distinction between one and the other. So that's one of the reasons that I think it's falling upon the privacy professionals. I also see more and more companies doing this by themselves with the AI ethics committee answering to the chief privacy officer. Maybe the role of the chief privacy officer will expand to also include the chief AI officer. Maybe it will
Yeah.
be autonomized. So maybe in the structures of the companies in the near future, things will change. Privacy professionals will become AI professionals. I do prefer Trevor Hughes, the
Yeah.
CEO of
IAPP.
IAPPs. Yeah, he once talking to him, he told me that we are trust professionals. Not that's where our profession is going, our work is going. And to be honest, I completely agree. Creating trust becomes also technology neutral. It also becomes it's neutral to law, to regulations, to technology itself. And this means that we may be going into that direction. And let's not forget that how technology is evolving. It's we are coming towards a time where we're seeing the not the dawn, but the full-on implementation of IoT in all our lives. And I do remember that there are some predictions that say that 70% of personal data by 2025, 2030 will be coming from IoT. So until now, personal
Good.
data came from the data subject,
Yeah.
be it declared data or observed data. Now it's coming from machines that the person owns. I have a watch. I have a watch that tells my phone what's my heartbeat. It's my probably my fridge will have will start ordering stuff from Amazon for me.
Yeah.
And that's personal data also. It's a different kind of personal data. So we also will need to adapt to the new volume and the new types of data collection processes that are going to happen.
Well, the log files that are produced by all of these drones and like lampposts and whatever, right? I thought they're so poor. But of course, in aggregate, as you start looking at all of them, as people walk through a street, there's all of these lampposts reacting to people flowing through that street.
Exactly.
And then if you connect that with something else, then the drone is flying, the lamppost is measuring, the smart pavement somehow is doing something else. The roads in South Korea, there's a plan for them to be, sort of uh, electrifying or charging the car as it moves, and they could be recording whatever they want. So in the end, there's all of these IoT devices that we thought were very innocent, but
Mm-hmm.
now they start piling up data. And yes, that's contributing to the new model. And I wanted to gear towards marketing and ad tech
Sure.
because you've been going deep into those subjects, and they're very relevant for this podcast. What's the role that you see that AI is playing in MarTech?
The ability to use personal data to provide personalized ads is something that is interesting, to be honest, is something that I look forward to if I provide the data with my consent, and I provide it knowingly, and I know what happens with the data. Um, I don't mind online advertisement as a privacy professional. I think it can be very helpful in helping me find new products that I like. AI will have a huge impact on that. Now, as a privacy professional, do I want to get this right? Do I want not only as a privacy professional, as a data subject? Do I want things to be done right? Yes, I would prefer that to be the case. That hasn't been the case, not because of the online advertising community, but because the online advertisement is concentrated on two companies basically, which is Google and Facebook, and it's tough even for online other companies to try and provide different solutions that are maybe more privacy friendly, but get mixed into this dual monopoly of online advertising. Now with AI, if the issues before AI were there, with AI, I think they will become augmented, and that's where I think that we need to not only continue the work that has been ongoing. You can see Google improving. You can see Meta improving. But I also do see that we are entering a difficult time for EdTech and MarTech, especially because of the budgets that companies do not have right now to invest in EdTech and MarTech. So I do think that I lived in China, so so the word for crisis is danger and opportunity. So that's the way the Chinese look at it. So I also see this, of course, as a danger towards the revenue streams, but also see this as an opportunity. All these things are happening at the same time. There are so many moving pieces in the AdTech and MarTech space that it's very difficult to just pinpoint one reason or where this is going to go. What I would like for this to go is that yes, please use AI. Yes, please use to the tools that you have available. Please provide me with content that I'm interested, ads that I'm interested in, but please do so with data that I provide.
Good. There's some different perspectives. Let's say you've got as you said, as a data subject.
Yeah.
I guess it is a benefit. I still have to see it because with all the progress we've made,
Yeah.
I'm still chased by ads that are totally irrelevant or for things that I've
Agree.
already bought that are just too relevant
I agree.
because they don't make any sense at this point. Now, from the business side, I don't think sales and marketing teams, which have already struggled to work together, even them,
Correct.
are now able to drag the compliance team over and say, look, I need to raise a flag here, and I see possible consequences. So, first of all, do we need to tell people? Because, of course, now it's AI-powered automated decisions. I don't know whether this is going to make a difference as a consumer, but do you need to tell me? Does it trigger then the whole list of consequences of a company using AI?
Well, it really depends on the let's call it decision making for now, because the AI Act says that it's content, recommendations, opinions, and decisions. And now there's a very interesting legal question here: are recommendations decisions? I do think that for example, if I'm using a streaming service and they recommend 4 movies, I can accept that it's a recommendation. But if I'm going for a job interview and if I'm applying for a job and I send my CV and then instead of the AI model deciding on one person, it selects 5, recommends 5, and then the humans takes the last decision. Now, is that decision making? Well, it's arguable both ways. To me, if we look carefully at Article 22, it says solely based on automated decision making. So that's solely based is the interesting part here. Can we say that if an AI provides 3 CVs to an HR professional, is that a decision or is it a recommendation? And that's the interesting part of this. So it really depends on where you're going with this, or if it has legal effects or not. So that's when Article 22 applies. So there's no legal consequence for someone suggesting to me 3 movies that I should see, but there are legal consequences to if I'm selected or not for a job.
To drill down there a little bit, if it's only a mere recommendation, you do not need to do anything.
Well, that's a question. And I'm sorry to use legal jargon, but it depends. It depends. It depends if there are legal consequences to that decision or not towards the data subject, or if it affects the data subject in a meaningful way.
Yeah.
And when we say meaningful, we mean an impact on his life. Is there any impact if there's a not so good recommendation on a streaming service?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe a bad night. Maybe I see a movie that I did not enjoy that much.
Yeah.
But that's not something that that has any consequences, I think.
Yes.
But so it really depends on when you're looking at it. And so yeah, marketing may look at this as recommendations. Will Article 22 apply to marketing? That's a very interesting question.
Yeah, there's been that debate, right? At some point, I remember Eduardo Osteran, who I interviewed here as well, like, I don't know, 2 years ago. I remember he had written that piece sort of questioning whether behavioral advertising was automated decisions, right? Because there was that I don't know if it was the ICO, no, it was the EDPB, I believe. And then And then he said, well, if this is the case, then careful, because everything is going to be
Yes.
requiring
I,
so many, safeguards.
I could not agree more. Could not agree more.
And the thing is, if we start applying all of the basic rules to AI, like the Data Act, and we start looking at explainability,
Mhm.
transparency, and they extend themselves to the space where you personalize the offering. And yes,
Mhm.
sometimes it could be discriminatory. Perhaps, the things that you offer, someone to buy are hidden to others, and they're considered a missed opportunity that is a fundamental right for whatever is the nature, of whatever you're selling. Then something else could be triggered. If, because you use AI, you need to give people the opportunity to first understand how this works, and second, go around it or disable it, a very interesting thing could happen, which is that we could also, in one single shot, do away with a lot of bullshit, if I'm allowed to say,
You
because
are.
because the amount of tools, yeah, boasting these capabilities. Oh, this is AI powered, like, a level of personalization you will not achieve in any other way. Well, why? You've got 10 products, you've got a limited catalog. How much can you personalize that? How many, permutations of your offering are you going to produce, and what's the sample size that you have, and how can you really train this thing to be even more personalized? What is the value? So if I, as a consumer, I am offered the chance to understand and enable or disable and see the change, and I realize it was all vaporware and nothing, has an impact, then plenty of things have been hiding behind, where, marketers have been buying all excited, all of these tools, with great excitement, because it's the new toy and it's AI, and now we're AI powered. The minute that this has to be transparent, not only will people be able to understand that it's not going to affect them in a meaningful way, and they have this, all of these guarantees in place. At the same time, on the business side, you'll also be able to understand the reality of what you've bought. I'm thinking.
Yeah. That's a very interesting point. What it actually raised the question of the psychological effects of personalized marketing, which is like, do we feel like there's this phenomenon called uncanny valley that you are familiar with? It's when you look at the robot that really looks like us, like Sophia, an AI robot. We feel like there's something inside us that makes us feel strange, because it's like us, but it's not like us. And we don't feel that with robots that are metallic, that are like the Wizard of Oz, Tin Man.
Yeah.
We don't feel that
Yeah.
uncanny valley. And I do think that sometimes we may feel creeped on by the way that and I'm pretty sure that sometimes it's prediction based. It's not even decisions on personal. It's a prediction.
Yeah.
Oh, this person likes this, and they hit it right in the nail.
Yeah.
And and then my reaction will be, oh, that someone's listening to me, or someone is. We consumers are not that informed about all the processing activities, but they are not unaware of all that is happening in the world. So I also do think that that's also a challenge for personalized ads. That not let's okay, data collection, etc. Maybe you can find a way with AI, with 2, 3, 4 data points to really nail it. Now, what about the psychological effects that has on someone?
Yes.
But let's not forget that when mobile phones appeared, um, it was weird for us to see someone talking on the phone in the beginning, talking on the phone in the street and walking on the street and talking on the phone. And now it's the most common thing in the world. And so I do think that maybe we are in the beginning stages of that, and maybe the maturity level will rise. People with transparency will become more and
Yeah.
more peaceful with the situation, because they understand that there's no harm done. But I do think that there's some education and some transparency that needs to happen, so that people understand the models that are being used to provide those personalized ads. And sometimes people don't understand them.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about ads that fit. Now, sometimes my questions are when I see an ad that doesn't fit, and I'm thinking, why is this ad being shown to me? What data did I provide so that this ad matters?
Well, so Jose, you've taken this already from the MarTech space where there was the room for personalizing within
Yeah,
your digital properties.
yeah,
So it's already your audience, and you are,
yeah,
serving the customer experience is being
exactly.
improved by AI, and now you've taken it into the other space that I wanted to cover. So you're already there, sort of ahead of my question, which is okay now, demand generation and ad tech. And to get started with that, companies are going to be leveraging the AI produced by others. So in the
Mhm,
world of, as you say, why do I get this ad? And you get it because you're likely to click on it because other people that behaved like you before, again, the lookalikes business case, have done this. So in the Instagram, in the Meta Instagram
mhm, mhm.
world that many people are familiar with, of course, this thing has been going on forever. There's been companies uploading current CRM data, current customer, databases, uploaded originally back in the day with Data Logics, now Oracle. Then find others that are like them, and then in the process, of course, Facebook has all this data, and you just statistically, it's very likely that you will be like others that seem to be in your bucket. So there you have
Mhm.
it. And then you think, oh man, they
Of
nailed
course.
it. They nailed this thing.
Yeah, they nailed it.
So you as a consumer are finding in the long tail of offers that Instagram deals with, all these long tail in the DTC, direct consumer e-commerce, that there is a match and it works really well. This has been happening. So now you as a company that needs to generate demand, up to now, when you used Facebook lookalike audiences, you are already leveraging Facebook's AI. Up to now, what the EDPB said is that this was an exercise of joint controllership, that there had to be, and I haven't seen it anywhere, a joint controller, an Article 26 agreement, written agreement between Facebook and everyone that is using social media, doing social media campaigns, because according to the EDPB, in that scenario, there was a joint effort and both were, part of this same sort of, the purpose had been agreed in a way, even though Facebook then may have an ongoing purpose and you may have another one. So, but now we have AI. This is
Yeah.
AI powered. Does it change? Because I see that we're all using AI developed by third parties. We have the AI Act, and I want to
Sure.
get to the AI Act slowly, right, into this. And then, but the AI Act, even though there's a lot of effort put into how you develop your algorithms, I see that they're growing very fast. They're coming at us from very large companies, really able to train them at scale. And we are left with plugging into them, using them for very
Mhm.
specific purposes. And how do you see that in terms of compliance as a company that uses them either to generate demand or as a company that uses them in order to improve your own offering?
So I see in the future, or in the very near future, to be honest, or maybe maybe even in the present, a closer relationship between MarTech and AdTech. Maybe even a merger in some ways because of AI. Imagine a generative AI that develops ads on the spot using like imagine that I consented that they asked me what's your favorite color. I said blue, and then the ads start appearing done by an AI in blue or in a blue hue or in a family of blue or something that goes well with blue. And the ads are not only personalized, but they are so in line with my feelings and my emotions that can happen. That is a real possibility today with generative AI. uh, do the data points need to exist and for that to happen? Yes, for sure. Does compliance need to happen and to be able to put controls in place so that the data being used by the generative AI is GDPR compliant in our case, or either e-privacy directive compliant, or whatever, or AI Act compliant, or whatever regulation that might come in the future? Yeah, definitely. I I think that the way that we collect data, or companies collect data, will change. Now, I do think that there's this mentality of a bulk access to all the data, and with more data, we're going to be able to. But I do think that there will come up a time where data minimization is not just a principle; it's also a business need, because keeping all that data costs money, and sometimes it's useless, and we both know that. So with AI, that of course AI does need big data to get those patterns, and to find people, and to find the tastes of certain people, and to produce the content. But marketing's position, and AdTech's position here, with AI providing all these contents with the data that they are allowed to use by the law or by the data subject. That's a very interesting time for us, all of
That's
us,
very interesting. So say a last question, because now you open
Sure.
this Pandora's box, and you've got, as you said, generative AI these days is all the rage. Everyone is playing with Chat GPT. It's
Yeah.
super powerful. We're all loving it, building, poems on the fly, building code, writing code on the fly. It's really impressive. I've enjoyed myself a lot with the toy. I've enjoyed myself a lot with the others, with DALL-E, Mid Journey is all the rage. So these days, generative AI is gigantic. And we see the possibilities. You don't need to have any data, as you said. Why pile up all data? They've done it. They have already done it. They've already got there before. And the fact is that the processing power required, as the Midjourney CEO said recently in an interview, no, people are not going to have access to these resources, to this amount of resources, the computing, putting aside the pollution that will be generated out of this,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
the computing required, for this to work is not available to everybody. So now that they've done it, and that you're running your request by such a powerful engine, and now we're gonna have new versions coming up very fast. It's gonna be very hard to catch up. So you have this thing. Now you run a request for copy, for text, or for images from one of these, from OpenAI, for example, paying through the API per request or whatever, and automatically, as you said, based on who is on the website, so in the MarTech space, or based on who is the audience I'm trying to reach in the AdTech space, and you are now on the fly building a copy with an image that will touch them.
Yes.
Some 2 years ago, or perhaps nearly three, I interviewed Jose Luis Flores, who founded the ETHIA for AI Ethics Foundation in Spain, and he's been an early leader in AI for many years. And he did mention this possibility. He said, "Look, one day we're gonna have a mass manipulation machine here, because you know exactly who you're talking to, you know what triggers them, and you've got a way to automatically build something on the fly that will appeal to them. So you can give them exactly the content that you know will touch their emotions. So you've got a way to very quickly produce something that will, it doesn't have to be about political manipulation and, sort of the end of the world, but I'm getting to the practical implications of every business connecting into OpenAI, as it seems is going to be the case very soon. And then, so that's my question. Finally, getting to the question. Where do you frame it in the context of complying with the AI Act? For example, looking at Europe alone, you are not developing the algorithm. OpenAI has done it. You know it's very powerful. It doesn't need your customers' data now, but on an ad hoc basis, you will need to simply pose a question to answer a customer on a chat, or to personalize a creative, or to build an ad on the fly. How do you go around complying if you are, a business in
Okay.
Europe?
Well, that's a very interesting question, and look, I don't have a crystal ball. I do think that this is a decision for MarTech and AdTech to take. How are they going to work towards this personalization of ads using AI to create content.
Yeah.
So I do think that that there needs to be a consensus between marketing, AI again, and compliance, because there needs to be very careful collection of data points, so that and an explanation of data points. Is the market mature enough? I'm not talking about the ad tech. I'm talking about the consumer market. Is the consumer market mature enough to understand all these changes that are so quickly happening in the industry? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Consumers are evolving and they will
Yes.
appreciate respect. And for
Yes.
now, I guess when it comes to the AI Act, yes, we need to tell people you're talking to a robot, that this chat
Yes.
is AI. Don't feel that it's a human being. We need to tell you this is an AI. And then perhaps you as a consumer will call your own AI, talk to this
Yeah.
AI, just
Yeah.
just get it off me and give me the information, get it sorted. But you want to be told, like this is an AI. And but there's that line where you're not talking to an AI because it's not happening in real time. The AI, as you raised, the generative AI is behind the scenes producing something that preceded the interaction, so that by the time you're there, the content was built by an AI. You're not interacting with an AI, but since everything has been progressively automated, you know, every day everything is more automated,
Yeah.
then it's the same. It's automated first by, advanced statistics, and now it's just, we can call it AI because it learns and it's trained and it improves. So uh, I think it's going to be difficult to get to know where to draw the line, but perhaps I need to see it in action. This AI
But
Act.
the interesting thing is that marketing and advertising are key stakeholders, especially with this use of AI,
Yeah,
key stakeholders in
yeah,
today's world
yeah,
in the AI ethics discussion. Not only understanding that they also need the ethics perspective, but they also can provide their inputs towards the ethics perspective, as do consumers. And those are very interesting things to understand. What are consumers comfortable with? What do they consider as something that um, may make them buy a product?
yeah,
Is it targeted at the right solution, or would you prefer to just see it on TV
yeah,
or on a streaming service, or a general a non-personalized ad? Would you feel less creeped out by that? Those kinds of questions are questions we all need to start thinking about. Not only me as a consumer, but also the marketing and advertising. I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of research, but I also do think that things have changed after the pandemic. A lot of things have changed after the pandemic. It has accelerated us as a society very quickly, and also we as consumers are changing. We as consumers are understanding more and more the need to protect our data, the need for our privacy, the need for our own space, if you want, our private space, and more we may vote with our money, and use our money to not purchase a product that is has invaded my privacy or the privacy of others. We look at this, all these questions that come around ethics and regulations, etc. It's actually, it's not simple. I don't pretend for it to be simple. It's because it is not. But it's human nature in the end, and this is where AI helps humans also to understand. Maybe one day we'll have an AI that will help us understand more about all this from the consumer side, and we have already seen this in cybersecurity, and we can see this in some non-compliant ads that are using more data than they should, and the AI says, okay, we block this one, but we let this one pass instead of blocking everything,
yeah, yeah,
which is the solution we have now.
yeah, yeah,
So maybe that's something, but that will take some time for everything to mature. AI needs to mature. AI ethics questions around this space also need to mature. there's a lot of talking that we have to do collectively to reach a certain point where we are all comfortable with what is happening.
Excellent. Jose, thanks a lot. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you. Okay, that's all for today, and you will find some episode notes and links to our social channels on mastersofprivacy.com. Thank you for listening.